All right, we're going to be talking about GIMP, and we've already looked at GIMP a little bit, but we're going to go back and look at how to use some of these fundamental tools from the toolbar. All right, the first one is we're going to start with a new image. Yours may have a blank screen here. Um, we want to always make sure that you start Window and make sure we're in GIMP. Sorry, now we're in GIMP. Go to Windows and make sure your single window mode is selected and then maximize your screen. That's going to lock in all these panels and make life a whole lot easier on you. So the first thing you always do is single window mode. Alright, so now what we're ready for is we're going to go to File and we're going to go New, and it's going to give us some options. Number one is our width, and for this assignment we're going to width and height are going to be 300. So roughly every 72 pixels is an inch. That's what that little 72 ppi means. And I have advanced options here as far as resolutions, what we can fill. By default is background color. And if you start a new one, it should be white, and I'm just going to hit OK. So it's going to come up with a white screen here. And this is our layers panel. So imagine these are just laying down transparent sheets of paper that we can stack on top and create images. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change our foreground color. There's two colors, a foreground and a background. So the foreground, you just double click and you're going to have your change color options. Alright, for this, you can pick any color you want. You can go over here, you can go to the wheel. There's several different ways. You can just rotate the wheel around and then pick your hue. So like I said, you can pick any color you want, and once you get the color you want, just hit OK. I pick green. Alright, so now we're getting ready to actually draw. We're going to look at the paintbrush. Obviously it's a paintbrush icon. Once you click on it, you're going to have tool options here. One, opacity is if you can see through it, make it transparent. We want to make this kind of solid paint, so it's going to be up to 100%. We're going to adjust the brush type, and I'm just going to do this first one right here, which is a pixel. Actually, I want to do circle. Alright, because I want the brush hardness to be 100. Alright, and if I go over here, I can start seeing the size of my brush. I can actually change the size of my brush by using this, right? Changing the size here. I can go over and move, and depending on how you grab this particular slide, you notice that it's changing from the upper half and lower half. If I go to the upper half, wherever I select it, it's going to go, and so that's 534 pixels, which is really large. Or I can slide down here, and it would allow me to adjust. I can slide. Alright, so let's stick around, let's do 10. Another way, you can just double click in here and type in 10. Hit enter. Alright, and I can draw anything. If there's something happens you don't like, Command Z. And we're going to draw a cube. So I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle, and there's some keys that help us. I can click, hold down Control key, and click. There's some keys that'll help us. Okay, there's some keys that'll help us to draw a square. I can use a Shift key, across a straight line, and click. I'm still holding the Shift key the whole entire time. And so now that's my one square. I'm going to draw another square. I'm going to draw another square. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click. I'm not holding the Shift key yet. I click. Now I'm holding the Shift key down. Go to the middle of this one. Click. Click. And I'm holding the Shift key while I make these. Alright, so now I'm just going to connect the corners to make my cube. So I click, hold down the shift key, click, hold down the mouse shift key, click, let go of the shift key. Now click again, hold down shift, and so hold down shift. And so now I've created my cube. Alright, so the next thing we're going to look at is the fill bucket. I'm going to fill this, and so I can go over here, and there's a lot of options when I click the fill bucket. Alright, one is I can fill with a background color, I can fill with a pattern, and then if there's multiple colors in a particular area, we can either do fill selected colors or fill whole selection. Alright, so we're just going to fill with similar color right now. I want to go change this to a different color. You can pick whatever you want. I'm just going to go here to a blue. I can select in here and hit OK. And I'm going to fill the outside. Now, it's not going to fill, it's only going to fill a closed-in region. So if I select this region in here, it's only going to fill in this particular side. Alright, so it has to be a completely closed in before it'll fill. Now, if I fill the outside, I want to do it with a different color. Maybe I want to do a yellow, and then I can fill the outside, and so it will not fill the inside because it's completely closed. Alright, so that's how to use the paintbrush, how to adjust the size and the type of paintbrush, and we've also talked about the fill. Alright, so now this we need to go to File, and before we finish, we're going to actually turn this into a GIF file, which is a vector graphic. So I'm going to go to Export, and it's going to come up. It may have a different file extension, but the file extension we want is GIF. So you're going to put your name, lab 1-1, and then pay attention to where it's saved. I'm going to save it to the desktop because it's easy to find, and hit Export. It's going to give you some options here. If I want to do a GIF, a lot of these things aren't going to matter unless you get an animation, but the main one is just to hit Export. And so that actually has created this file, and we can no longer go in and edit. So I'm going to go look for that. On my desktop. File, Export. Oh, I named it name. Let's go back and try to see if we can find that. So File, go to my Finder, go to Desktop, name lab. And so this is the little GIF that I set up, and it's 300 pixels by 300 pixels. Alright, so then this is the file that you're going to send to me.